Celebrating 30 years of phenomenal trend forecasting. 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. Here's Gerald Celente with today's trends in the news.
Hi, this is Gerald Celente. Wednesday, January 21st, 2015. And here are some of today's trends in the news. Well, on the market front, everything's pretty flat. Gold is flat. Euro's up a little bit, but basically flat. Markets were down, now they're up, sideways here and over there. And you know why? Right here, Financial Times. Tomorrow's the big day. Over there in ECB land, Mario Draghi, the president of the European Central Bank, will decide how much more money they're going to shovel into the system to prop up the failing system. Tensions simmer over Eurozone QE as investors buy up Spanish debt. Investors? Hey, can anybody call them gamblers? High-stake gamblers, investors. They invest in nothing. They only invest in getting themselves richer. And it's weakened, as we saw with the Oxfam report, that 1% next year will own more than 99%. Investors. What a load of baloney. So that's it. Everybody's waiting and everybody's gambling. Fed officials reassess U.S. outlook amid global weakness. Blow me away. Who's this? Bloomberg. Federal Reserve officials are starting to reassess their outlook for the economy as global weakness and disappointing data on American consumer spending test their resolve to raise interest rates this year. Test their resolve. Their incompetence, their failures, and their frauds. You look back at the Fed minutes, one inept person following another. Hey, but now they're testing their resolve. I wonder how much they'll test it with. And the Bank of Canada today unexpectedly cut its target rate by a quarter point to 0.75% in response to a drop in oil prices, which it said will be, quote, negative for growth and underlying inflation in Canada. And the big news is that Germany, they want their gold back, so they started repatriating it. And that was the big news. Oh, yeah, all over the markets. People who read this stuff. Check it out. They got 85 tons back from the New York Fed. That's right. That's where they're holding it, Federal Reserve down in New York. They got back 85 tons out of 1,447 tons. I'm not too good at math, but that's not like a lot. But we're going to get it back by the end of the century, I'll tell you. Hey, how come nobody could look at this stuff? How come we, the people, are not allowed to see the gold in Fort Knox? How about freedom and democracy, huh? And by the way, the Bitcoin, now it's down. Last time I reported it was 225, off its high of over 1,100 in 2013. Now it's down to 215. And by the way, with gold prices moving up, they're about 5 months highs here in the States. But if you're one of them Europeans and buying it with that euro dough, you're back to 2013 levels. Yeah. So, as currencies get weaker, and they keep pumping in more dough to prop up failing economies, I forecast gold will go higher, and 2015 will be a golden year. China expands at weakest rate in 24 years. I talked about this yesterday. Property sales were down 7.6% last year, and unsold floor space increased 26.1% by the end of December. The IMF has lowered its forecast for China's economy this year from 7.1% growth to 6.8%, in large part because of the slowdown in property and investment and manufacturing, oversupply and overcapacity. China's not doing well. Didn't make the news here in the States too big, but because it ain't a white guy, it's one of those Japanese, yeah. Hostage crisis challenges pacifist Japanese public. Pacifist Japanese public, baby. But didn't Abe just spend more dough in defense? Yeah. Oh, that pacifist. But anyway, it seems like ISIS is out there with their meat cleaver again, and they got some Japanese heads they want to put on the block. Hey, send them over to Saudi Arabia. They could do a nice job on it. How many did they do yesterday? Did you see the one of that poor woman who they claimed killed her kid or something? And she's screaming, I didn't do it, and they chop her head off? Yeah, our ally. These are our partners. But hey, it's not big news because they're not white. They're only Japanese, you know? So, for the rest of this Trends in the News, we're going to look at some of President Obama's State of the Union address last night. And what a spectacle it is. These guys come out, everybody's standing, applauding. Here comes the king. Hey, every time I show up from now on, I want everybody to stand and cheer. Hey, I'm here. What, it's this America? Hey, the founding fathers, you'd love this one, man. What a freak show. All those seals jumping. Anyway, we're going to break it down right now. Beginning with tonight, after a breakthrough year for America, our economy is growing and creating jobs at the fastest pace since 1999. Yay! Hey, what kind of jobs? What kind of jobs are we talking about? We're not going to talk about that. And tonight, for the first time since 9/11, our combat mission in Afghanistan is over. How's that for?
Bullshit detected. Take precautions.
And that's what you got to do when you're over there in Afghanistan. We still have over 10,000 troops there, and you watch more will come, and they'll be fighting. And they are fighting. We're just not getting the reports. And for what? You know, that victory parade was great down on Wall Street. I'll tell you, boy, the confetti was flying everywhere. 6 years ago, nearly 180,000 American troops served in Iraq and Afghanistan. Today, fewer than 15,000 remain. And we salute the courage and sacrifice of every man and woman in this 9/11 generation. I do not salute them. I do not agree with going to wars based on lies, and nobody will speak about this. You're not allowed to. The Iraq War was a lie. Libya was a lie. Afghanistan was a lie. I outlined it in the Trends Journal, George Bush's speech on 9/11 and 9 days later. And I said, only a madman would speak these words, and only people dumbstruck with fear would believe him. And afraid they were. Not a fact. But everybody jumps up and applauds because this 9/11 generation has served to keep us safe. We are humbled and grateful to your service. I am not humbled, I am not grateful, and you are causing hatred around the world, like that movie where that guy's in Iraq shooting people and they call him an American hero, going into a foreign country based on lies, slaughtering the people that want to get you out of there. And they're the terrorists. But let me continue. America, for all that we've endured, and he goes on, the shadow of crisis has passed, and the State of the Union is strong. Oh, yeah. Your shadow. You're a shadow of a man. Nothing is past. Yeah, the shadow's past, man. Yeah. Where's the shadow? Then he goes into this thing. There's two people sitting in the audience. Rebecca, just her was there, they showed her. And Ben Earler. of Minneapolis with newlyweds. And everybody claps. She waited on tables. He worked in construction. Things got bad. You know, you are the reason that I ran for office. Yeah, you, Rebecca and Ben. You are the people I was thinking of 6 years ago today, in the darkest months of the crisis, when I stood on the steps of this Capitol and promised we would rebuild our economy on a new foundation. A foundation of BS, man. It's a real shaky foundation, but it's good for an applause line. And it has been your resilience, your effort, that has made it possible for our country to emerge stronger. We believed we could reverse the tides of outsourcing and draw new jobs to our shores. And over the past 5 years, our businesses have created more than 11 million new jobs. Waiters, bartenders, waitresses, hospitality sector, ambulance workers, healthcare workers, low-paid workers. And thanks to lower gas prices and high fuel standards, yeah, I repeated what I said yesterday, but he made a big deal out of it. You should save $750 at the pump. Yeah, for 4 people in D.C., that's a night out in the town, maybe. Today, we have new tools to stop taxpayer-funded bailouts. Oh, yeah, Dodd-Frank. Perfect name for 2 losers, man. Dodd-Frank. The bill that's been raped already. Glass-Steagall's no good, but they keep going on. A new consumer watchdog to protect us from predatory lending. What do they have? These payday loans at about 800%. A watchdog? Yeah, a little chihuahua maybe. And abusive credit card practices. And in the past year alone, about 10 million uninsured Americans finally gained the security of health coverage. That's costing more and more and more, and it's not national program, it's fascism. We're being forced to buy insurance to private companies, and the rates are going up in many of the areas. The deductibles are unaffordable for a lot of people, so they're not going for health care. He goes on that they can't have Friday night pizza, this Rebecca and Ben. And basic child care for Jack and Henry costs more than their mortgage. Jack and Henry? He was just talking about Rebecca and Ben. Hey, it's Obama. He'll talk about any Tom, Dick, and Harry, man. He'll lay out any cheap line he can and bring in anybody from the street they could find. Because, hey, it's the presidential reality show, the greatest show on earth. Cost more than their mortgage, this child care, and almost as much as a year at the University of Minnesota. We just don't want everyone to share in America's success. We want everyone to contribute to our success. And here's one example. During World War II, when men like my grandfather went off to war, having women like my grandmother in the workforce was a national security priority. Okay, wait a minute. Stop. This isn't World War II. And your grandfather wasn't the only person that went off to war. Hey, but it's my grandfather. How about you? How about one of you? You love those veterans so much. You're humbled by them. Hey, sign your kids up for the military. Yeah, and you go too. Lead the charge, because we're going to get to that part tomorrow with Syria. Anyway, it's a different time. So this country provided universal child care. So this is fraudulent. This is not a comparison. It's not a nice to have, it's a must have, child care. So it's time we stop treating child care as a side issue, a women's issue, and treat it like a national economic priority. And that's why my plan will make quality child care more available and more affordable for every middle class and low income family with young children in America by creating more slots and a new tax cut of up to $3,000 per child per year. Who's going to pay for this? Now, you know how people don't like when I call assholes assholes? Well, you're not going to like this. Let me get this straight. Rebecca and Ben, or Jack and Jill. You want to have children, and both of you want to go out to work, that's your business. Once upon a time, since the beginning of written history, people had children, and the women raised them. I came from a family of 7. My mother and father's souls rest in peace. My father worked in construction. He began working in a radio factory. And he was a smart guy, made his way, made things happen. He took care of us. Had a nice house. My mother stayed home. If she wasn't home, I'd be dead. Literally. I had a mother at home. If you think it's more important for both of you people to work and you can't afford to have children, here's a suggestion you might want to consider. President Obama and everyone else. Don't have any kids if you can't afford them, because I don't want to pay for them. If you think you both have to work to raise your children and I should pay for somebody else to watch your kids, you got the story wrong. Have what you can afford. And if you can't afford it, that ain't my problem. And who are you putting your little infants and toddlers' hands in? Who's watching them? Who's nurturing them as little infants? Who's giving them that motherly love? And there's no such thing as quality time. You can save that one too. I'll tell you who. All you need is an equivalent or a high school diploma. Equivalent of or, and you get paid the grand total on average of $9.38 an hour. And you got a bunch of kids running around. But it's more important to go to work. This is a fraud. And the other part of it, it's great. Get them away from the family. Don't let them become individuals. Put them in a corral with the rest of the kids so you can brainwash them all at once. So I'm not for this at all. And I'm sure we'll get some hate mail on that one, but hey, I could care less. So that's it for now. We're going to move on tomorrow. By the way, we counted it up. Not only with this one, Obama folked us 10 times. Da-da-da-da. That's all, folks.